Welcome back to the show. Sibusiso Ntuli had lost his identity and his way. However, his story is quite evident that sometimes in life you have to go down the wrong path in order to find the right one. Sibusiso has since found his way and his purpose in the most remarkable way.
It was later on in life that I realized that I think I'm surrounded by the wrong people. Is when I was nearly brought into a gang within the Rackerpark side, and it was late at night. We were driving towards Rackerpark and I was with a few people, and they said to me that once I go through this process, there's never a time that I can look back. And there's one guy who really looked out for me there. His name is Larry. He said to me, he says, "Sibu, no me bro, do you see this life, bro? Once you get in, you can't get out." And I, after knowing him for so long, I had never seen him serious. Like, he would always joke, he would always laugh, but for once, I had seen the seriousness in his eyes, and he said, "Like, no Sibu, you know what? I'm not gonna let you do this. We're going. You must never come back to these people. If I ever see you here in this place, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore."
Larry's words were the flame that ignited Sibusiso's turning point. He walked away from the destructive life and began to reinvent himself, and he started to rebuild his new life.
After that, I started to realize that, no man, maybe I'm not cut out for the gangstership life, but I know I have this ability to solicit crews, and I have this ability to navigate around the world, and you know, I have this tongue. You know, they used to say that I've got a 26th tongue, and I'm never gonna claim a number or anything like that. But they would always tell me that, you know, this thing of 26, I can always talk. You know, I can talk my way out of trouble. I can talk my way into business. I can talk my way into a deal, whatever. And that's what I started to harness more. And I thought, maybe let me be a marketeer. In becoming a marketeer, my first job was, or let me say my first attempt at having a job was selling a Kirby, you know, and Lee, I can't believe I still remember everybody's names, but Lee was this one individual who was such a go-getter, and she's this little feisty Caucasian lady in North. She used to drive an SLK, black SLK, just like my aunt. So that's where the adaptation came towards, and I was starting to sort of affirm within my universe that, look, these are the type of people I'm gravitating towards because of the certain similarities that they or the qualities they would show that my aunt had. And Lee was such a go-getter. Even though this thing was so overly expensive, she brought this thing to me where was, if you cannot sell to your family, then you cannot sell to the world. If you are not recognized in your household, then you understand that your journey is that much more important, because a king will never be recognized in his hometown. And then there's this line by Albert Einstein that she taught me. It says, "Try not to become a man of success, but to be a man with value." Because people don't buy products. People buy the person selling the product. And I always remained with that instillment. And within that journey, I then discovered social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship to me became my calling. It became the evidence that in this world, if you're not bettering the environment you come from, you're not doing anything. Because no matter, even if you become a billionaire and you've not changed one person's life, technically you're not a billionaire, because you would not have affected 1 billion people. So the modus operandi I learned about was, if I could impact 1 billion people's lives, I'd become a billionaire.